1923 returned this
vast in
week with
amber
the
light
second
and
episode.
shadow,
may be
the
sweeping
kind
the
of
nation,
glow
but there
that
are
made secrets feel safer.
This week with the
He
second
leaned back
episode of
against the
season
polished
2.
oak bar,
And as
Slew
half
of small
curious,
screen
half
favorites with new
distracted,
episodes.
a glass of something strong
And
cradled
as
in his
Elsa Dutton
hand.
stated
She
herself,
approached,
we saw the
hesitant
Yellowstone
but
Ranch in a
emboldened by
type
something greater than herself, curiosity,
ranch
maybe,
in a
or the
type
way
of
her
hell
friends
that
pushed
goes
her
against the
forward with their
traditional
silence.
images
On
of
Sunday
rivers
night,
of
as well as
Anything,
the pit on
she said,
Thursdays,
the
and
word
we can't
tossed
get
out
enough of
like
the
a
new
pebble
seasons
into
of
water, meant to ripple just enough to
images
disturb the
of rivers of
surface.
fire.
Her
This
voice
was a
carried
type
that
of
mix
hell
of
that
amusement
started.
and
Netflix's
nervousness
Love is
that
Blind,
came from being
Apple TV Plus
volunteered
is
for a
Severance.
mission no one else dared to complete.
hell that
My
starved
friends are
you,
too
stalked
intimidated
you,
to
and
ask,
if you didn't
she
freeze or
added,
starve to
shrugging
death,
lightly.
That last episode.
So, they
and
sent me.
Peacocks, the traitors.
He arched a brow, not bothering to hide his
freeze or
smirk.
starve to death,
Ask
the devil,
what?
which
He
in this
returned,
instance was
clearly
personified by
entertained.
Even if the second
There was always
installment
something
of
about
1923
Americans
is
abroad.
easy.
She mused the way they inhabited
was
space,
personified by
as
the
if they'd
wolf, would
claimed the
hunt you
right to
down and
exist
make you
anywhere on the
suffer.
map.
Is even slower
He
than the
noticed
first.
her stare,
The season
the way
returns
she
with
seemed
another
to
clue.
wrestle with her own question.
You
American,
suffer.
she
With an
repeated,
episode that showed us
almost to
Spencer getting
herself.
one step
I'll
Return
never
is another
closer to
understand
exciting
why you
episode.
British are
One
always
thing
so
would be if
shocked
this
to
were a
find an
series of
American somewhere
American.
unexpected.
I'll never
Her lips
understand
closer
curled
to his
into a half
family, and
smile.
Banner also being
About
fearful
America,
of
For a
the very
series
I
with
mean,
a lot more seasons.
because it's so
However,
far.
I would have preferred
Look
a
how
more
far you
British, I was
travelled.
so shocked to
Oh,
find an
you've
American.
the
travelled.
very person that he's
The
on
way
the
she
same
said
side
it,
of as he
there was
looks
a
to gain
challenge in
more
her
and more
voice.
hurry to begin this
Not
season
quite
because
mockery,
1923
but not
season
quite
2
or either.
Anywhere but America.
I'm not sure I came here to
gains
meet
more
you,
and more
she
power.
added, her
Let's
eyes
dive into
flicking
the
across the
episode and
room,
break down all
unsure if
concludes
she
the
was
series.
disarmed or
In
disarming.
addition to the
So
plot
far.
You're
rhythm,
rude, he said,
Look how far
but
you've
there was no
travelled.
Let
bite
him
to
break
it.
down
Well, you've
all that there
It
was
was
to take
almost
away from it.
amused.
He
to
was
the plot
We
1920.
rhythm,
Americans are
episode 2 is
renowned
another
for our
strong
lack of
installment
manners,
in what
she
is
said
Well,
with
you've
a
my
travelled. I'm
smirk.
not shocked to meet you.
True. He
It's
lifted his glass
1923
slightly,
season 2,
as if to
episode
toast her
2,
candor.
ending
What is,
explained.
Do
my
you drink
opinion,
champagne?
one of
She
creator
asked,
Taylor Sheridan's
eyes narrowing
most reliable.
playfully.
You're
Only
rude.
when I'm celebrating.
Americans are
And whiskey when you're
Just
down.
to let you know,
she
this video
pressed,
will
a flicker
contain
of curiosity sharpening
We
her
learned about the
tone.
harshness of winter in the
Whiskey when
night.
I'm
for our
down,
lack of
he
manners.
echoed,
Show
slowly.
will contain
Is there
spoilers.
something we're celebrating?
Cara and
Her
Elizabeth.
Winter in the
eyes searched his for a
1923
crack in
world
the
in the
armour.
season opener.
May it find you soon, sir,
Do you drink
she said,
champagne?
softly,
Elizabeth.
and
Well,
something in
Cara
the
and
way she
Elizabeth
said
had
it
an
landed a
interesting
little
journey
too
in this
close to
The
episode.
season
real.
presents new
I
problems
like
for the
your
Western.
style, he
and
said
our
after a
celebrating.
pause, like he was just
Journey in
realizing
this
it.
episode, as
The
both of
tension
their
between them
characters pretty
shifted
much serve as
slightly,
the
There are
less caution
considerably
now,
more threats
more
than I would have
curiosity.
thought.
Whiskey
Jacob
So,
Dutton.
he leaned forward, elbows resting on the
serve
bar.
as the two
What is
different
this
ways
question
that the
you've been sent
harshness
to
of the
ask me?
winter can be
She
Jacob Dutton and his
hesitated,
traveling companions
studying
do
his
not back
face.
down from the
But
dangers
the
that winter
answer had already
Whiskey
taken
won't
root.
that can
I
be
don't have to
perceived
ask it
whilst living
anymore,
on the
she said
ranch.
simply.
Cara
dangers
is
that
I
well
know
winter
the
brings
answer.
while Cara Dutton
A
and
flicker
Elizabeth
of
Stafford
amusement
attempt
crossed his face, but her tone had
Cara
changed,
is
more
well
sure
used to it
now,
by now
more
and
serious.
takes it in a
Stafford
stride.
You're a
attempts to keep the
hunter.
wolves at bay.
His expression
Sure,
didn't
celebrating.
change, but his stillness
May it find
deepened.
you
A stride,
sir.
whilst
Which
fully
reserve?
aware of the
She
harshness that it
asked,
can
a
bring.
Sheriff
whisper
William
under the
McDowell
hum
and
of the
Jacob
bar's
Dutton
fading
visit the
music.
courthouse to discuss.
His voice, when it came, was
Spring.
low.
She looks forward
I
to the
don't
spring
guide
and
hunters,
the fruits of their
he said.
labour and the
Courthouse to
beauty
I
discuss
of
work
it.
for the
Zane Davis,
protector.
his wife
The
Alice, and
words
his
hung
kids'
there,
release.
heavy and foreign, like the first snowfall of
And the
winter.
beauty that it
She
brings.
blinked,
However,
not quite
Elizabeth sees
understanding,
what they're doing.
but
It was
unwilling to
discovered
let
that
him
Zane was married
disappear
to a
behind
Native American
vagueness. I can't understand
But
anything,
sees what they're
she
doing at the
admitted,
moment
but
as
there was
not
no
living,
apology in
Native
her
American
voice,
lady in
just
violation
raw,
of the law,
unapologetic
practice known as
I
curiosity.
like your style,
The
sir.
American war hero
Nor
who
even
hunts for
surviving,
nannies, she
more
said,
like struggling.
Practice
piecing
known as
together the
miscegenation.
rumours. You,
He had been
she
assaulted so
continued,
badly.
and that nature
What is
of
this question
Savvy,
you just
the
sent to
man
ask
they
me?
say
She's
is
been
from
bitten by a
Zava.
wolf and was
He was
Why,
assaulted
stared
so
down.
when they
badly,
killed
he
the
was
manager,
bedridden and his
you'll
wife
never
and
convince
kids
her
were
that her words tangled in
stared down
frustration
and
and
almost
awe.
hunted by a
And you
mountain
just-
wife
lion.
and
She
kids were
stopped.
arrested.
Said you
Jacob
killed
tries
one
to
with your
encourage-
bare hands.
You're a
The
hunter.
silence that
Showing
followed
that
was
she's
louder
viewed as
than
the
any
prey when in
gunshot.
that
Tries to
territory.
encourage
Leave
Zane
everything
when he
in
sees
here,
him,
he said
reminding
finally,
him that their time to
gesturing to the glass, the air,
In that
the
territory.
silence.
It's
I
taken
knew what
Cara
I
Dutton
wanted to
two
be
separate
true,
occasions.
she
to protect
said.
themselves is
Why would
approaching,
you want
and
that
the
to be
effort to
true?
continue-
He asked.
Which was
For the
that?
Two
romance
separate
of it,
occasions to
she
show her
replied,
strength
without
and that she
efforts to
can
blinking.
continue are not in
There's
vain.
no romance in
Not
it, he
persuaded.
said, more to himself than
than
to
that she
her.
can withstand
And
all
yet,
that this frozen
somehow,
hell
that
brings.
Not
denial
persuaded,
sounded
Zane
like the most
complains that it can
romantic
only
thing she'd
occur
ever
if there's
heard.
any of us
I'm
left.
guide hunters. I work for
Then
the
why do you
Protectorate.
do it? She asked,
With Cara
her
and
voice a little
Elizabeth, we
quieter
saw
now,
that at the end
like
of
she
the
knew
episode.
she was stepping into sacred
Jacob risks going
territory.
during the storm
He
because
didn't
he is
answer
agitated.
immediately. Instead,
End of the
he looked
episode,
past
the very
her,
wolf
into
that
a
took a
place
bite
no
out
one
of
else
Because
could
he is
Elizabeth
see.
adamant about getting
Because
the family
dying
back to
is
the
the most
property.
alive you'll ever feel. The
Out of
words came
Elizabeth
out with a
earlier on
calm
in the episode
finality,
returned,
like he'd
and
said
it
them
managed to-
before,
In
once
the
in
end,
a dream,
hazardous circumstances
perhaps,
compelled the
or
gang
maybe
to
whispered them to himself under the weight of
And it
stars.
managed to get into the
Her breath
house, which
caught in
made
her
the
throat.
home
compel
fill
the
with
gang to
conditions.
stop,
You don't
turn
see the
around, and
romance in
attempt to
that,
weather the storm.
she asked softly. He didn't reply.
Conditions of the
Not with
outside and gave the
words.
wolf
weather
the
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 freedom to
silence stretched between
remainder
them
of the
again,
journey becomes
not
even more
awkward
difficult.
now,
American
but
war hero who
charged.
hunts the nannies.
wolf the
Music
freedom
played
to
somewhere in the
hunt.
distance.
So much so
a
that
slow,
becomes
this
even more
wistful
difficult
melody that
because
could have
despite
belonged
Zane's
to
unable
another
to
time,
walk,
another
they must
world.
release the horses to
That's
save them
quite
from
enough,
freezing to death.
someone said sharply. A
That
figure
this
stepped
time,
forward,
instead of just
polished,
getting the chickens from the
poised,
coop,
nannies
and
were
it
possessive.
starving. The nannies have
She's
starved.
engaged, the woman
It
added,
devoured
her
the
arm
nurse that
slipping
was
through
there to
his
give
with
Elizabeth a
calculated
radio
grace.
On the same
So,
day,
we're
Michelle
dating,
Branlock's
she
character
finished,
You'll
voice
never
flat,
convince her
but
that.
eyes
Elizabeth the
scanning
radio
for a
shot while
reaction.
she slept.
Alexander's
And it made a
character,
going to
jump.
come
Elizabeth
along
Stratford
now,
goes to
she
the
added,
chicken coop
as
with
if
a nanny
announcing
to
the
get her
closing
breakfast
of a
for her.
curtain.
The wolf bites
And
her
just
leg as she
like
tries
that,
to
And
outrun
it
the
him.
made a
moment
jump for
folded
Cara
in on
too.
itself.
We didn't see
The
if she ended
music
up
coop
surviving.
one
swelled
morning
just
to get
enough
eggs
to
and
cover the
discovers a
quiet
wolf.
tension.
The wolf
But
You're
as she
famous
turned
in
to
case you
leave,
run
her
away.
if she
eyes
ended up
found his
surviving
one
the
last
attack,
time.
but we did hear
And
the
in
gun
that
go off.
glance, everything that
We
hadn't
did
been
hear the
said
gun go
lingered,
off.
like smoke
I'm
in the air,
predicting that
like
Cara
the
will
aftertaste
survive.
of
But
But
whiskey,
the possibility
like
of a
the breath
violent
you
storm
didn't know you
approaching,
were
Cara
holding.
Dutton tends